Hey guys, it's Tiff and welcome back to my channel. You already know what today's video is, so I do not need to tell you twice. What is up? Unfortunately, I was in a slump for the first 2 weeks of the month, so this is going to be a little shorter than normal. I did not read as many books as I typically would in a month, but 3 of the 4 of these books I did read in a little over a week, so I'm very proud of myself for that nonetheless. So with that being said, let's get right on into it. So the first book that I read was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This book literally got me out of a 2-week-long slump, and I have yet to look back, and I don't think I ever will. I mean, it'll probably happen again, but not for a while, hopefully. So this book is basically about Olive and Adam. Olive is a grad student and Adam is a professor. Now I will preface and say that he is not her professor, he's just a professor at that school. Olive basically tells her best friend a lie that she is out on a date, but when she's supposed to be on this date, she's actually at the lab, and her best friend just so happens to show up at the lab at the same time. So Olive panics and kisses the first guy she can see, and it just so happens to be Adam. And not only is he a professor, but he is known to be the biggest on campus. I'm talking, this man is absolutely ruthless to his grad students, okay? He definitely has himself a little bit of a bad reputation. And one thing leads to another, and they end up fake dating. And well, we know how it goes from there. And you guys know, okay? If you're new here, maybe you don't, but if you're not new here, you know fake dating is my favorite trope. But that is not the only reason I loved this book as much as I did. Let me just start by saying Ali Hazelwood is a new auto-buy, auto-read author. I literally just bought 2 more books by her. I absolutely loved this book with everything in me, okay? Everything in me. And do not even get me started on the fake dating in this book. It was perfect. Absolute perfection. I genuinely just fell in love with Adam and Olive. They are just so cute. And don't even get me started on the fact that Adam is a simp, okay? He is the biggest simp I think I've ever read about in a book. This man literally had me so giddy and swooning the whole time I was reading this. How he acts with all of their little interactions while they're fake dating. It is so obvious how he feels about her, but of course Olive is oblivious. We need that for the plot line. It's just so obvious that he is such a simp for her, and I was eating it up, okay? I was eating up every minute of it. Literally, I just cannot even describe to you how much I love this book. Truly loved this book so much. I gave this a 5-star, of course. Olive and Adam are now one of my all-time favorite book couples, and this is definitely in my top 5 favorite reads of all time at the moment. I am truly obsessed. And next book we have Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. I had this book on my TBR for literally what felt like so long, and I finally picked it up and I finally read it, and I am so glad I did because I genuinely really enjoyed this book. So this book is basically about Olivia and Colin. Olivia has always had really bad luck, and with her most recent run of bad luck, she ends up moving in with her brother Jack and his best friend slash roommate Colin. So we got that brother's best friend trope, which let me just say, I love that trope so much. And she ends up getting a text from an anonymous number saying, "What are you wearing?" and ends up texting Mr. Wrong Number for weeks. But then Colin figures out that the Miss Style that he has been sexting for weeks is not only living under his roof, but is his best friend's little sister Olivia. So is he gonna turn up the heat or completely stop talking to her altogether? This book was honestly just so fun and flirty. It was a really quick and easy read for me, and I love me a good brother's best friend, so I really enjoyed this book. I did rate this book a 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't quite a 5-star read for me. It just didn't pull my emotions out as much as I would like a 5-star read to do so. It didn't make me like fall completely headfirst into the story and like obsess over it, but it was fun and it was enjoyable. And again, it was a really quick read. I mean, I flew through this. I read it in like a little over 24 hours. And next we have The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. This is a new release. It like just came out recently, and it is the second to Mr. Wrong Number. So you know I had to pick this up right after I finished Mr. Wrong Number because of course that's just who I am. And let me tell you guys, I literally loved this book so much. It's not even funny. funny. I was also filming a reading vlog while reading these two books, so if you want to see that, link below. Go watch it after this one. You won't regret it, I promise. So this book is basically about Jack and Hallie. Hallie somehow ends up getting herself right smack dab in the middle of Jack's public breakup. And then after a drunken one-night stand with Jack, she decides to turn over a new leaf and get her life on track, including her dating life. So she downloads a dating app, and as she's looking for the one on said dating app, she ends up seeing Jack's profile, and they end up having a conversation, basically telling each other they are not interested in each other at all, but they end up kind of becoming friends because of this whole fiasco that they have found themselves in. And they end up making a wager to see who will find the one first. But then they agree to fake date for 1 weekend for a wedding, and things start to get a little complicated, and they start to wonder why they weren't interested in the other to begin with. I truly and wholeheartedly loved this book so much. Like, I can't even describe to you how much I loved this book. There's not enough words, okay? There's not enough words. It was just such a fun, quick read. I literally fell head first into the story, into their relationship. I was hooked from the moment I started reading it, and I was hanging on to every single word that they were saying. I was just genuinely so giddy and literally swooning this entire book. I fell in love with Hallie and Jack. Their relationship was just so cute, and the way Lynn Painter did the fake dating in this book, I think she did a spectacular job. I loved the way she did it. Wholeheartedly loved this book. Of course, you already know I gave this a 5 stars. Truly obsessed with this book. Just know Lynn Painter is one of my new favorite authors. Auto buy, auto read author from now on. I love her writing and I love her books. And the last book I read in June was Beautiful Disaster by Jamie Maguire. I have had this book on my TBR for like 4 months and just kept putting off reading it, and I finally read it. So let's get into it. So this book is about Abby and Travis. Abby is trying to put her bad past behind her as she goes off to college, but then she meets Travis, who is Eastern University's walking one-night stand who also fights in an underground floating fight ring. And they somehow end up making a bet. If he wins, she has to stay with him in his apartment for a whole month. But if she wins, he has to stay abstinent for the same amount of time. Let me just start by saying that this book was so far from my expectations, it's not even funny. I don't even really remember what I was expecting from this book, but whatever I was expecting, it was not it. It was not it. But I did genuinely enjoy this book. I gave it a 4 stars. It was not quite a 5-star read for me. Just did not pull my emotions the way a 5-star read would. Wasn't making me, I'ma say it again, fall headfirst into the story. Just make me literally hang on to every single word they were saying, and just make me super giddy and like obsessed with them and their life and the story. But it was a really fun read, and I really enjoyed their story. It was super dramatic. There was always something going on. I would also like to say that this movie came out, I think, in April. Please, for the love of God, don't watch it. I finished this book and I wanted to watch the movie because obviously I liked the book, so I wanted to see what they did with the movie, and it was absolutely horrible. When I say that movie did not follow the plot line of this book at all, I'm not even kidding. They changed so many things that I felt were key major moments in this book to being completely different, and it literally threw off the whole plot line of what this book was and what happens in this book. It was absolutely effing ridiculous. It was just literally horrible. Don't watch it. Please don't. Read the book because it was a really good book and I really enjoyed it, but don't watch the movie, please. Like, I am warning you, it's awful. But those are all 4 of the books that I read in June. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, because we have a lot of fun over here and we want you to join the fun. With that being said, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.